You do you. I never really know what that means, but live. And I actually saw that.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Now we just need peoples
I saw three waiting, but I don't know where the three are waiting.
in the balcony, in the quiet corner.
Oh, is that what that is? Does that mean there are people there? And that's
They're
they're kind of.
lurking. The balcony or in the quiet corners. People
Oh,
lurking, and
so
there's
that's
Janice.
ratting them out? Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know that. I never knew that.
Janice Glines.
Hi,
Hello.
Janice. Look who showed up. My
It's
partner in
me.
crime.
It's me. It's me.
My partner in crime has found her way
Yes, I finally got things situated.
all the way across Canada. That's a long haul.
Yes, it was. Hi, Gail.
Hi, Gail. Yep. So we're gonna hang out and try to be creative. Do my best. Ah, yes, there are always watchers who don't want to watch. Oh, chat, you mean? I thought, well, maybe
The other two. The other two.
yeah. I actually, I think that that's probably the case too. There are always people that are here but don't want to watch. I think that's. Hey, Candy,
Hi,
so great to
Candy.
see you. Haven't seen you in a long
I'm
time.
in Alberta, Janice. Went from one coast to the other.
Mhm. Almost coast to coast, but not quite.
Yep. Hey, Janet Hearts.
Hey, Janet, good to see you. And Brenda's here. Good to see you. Good afternoon or early evening or whatever. It's 5 o'clock here in Melbourne, and it's 3 o'clock in Alberta time.
It is. Watch out for Bigfoot. Yes, I know. I got a picture of him.
Hey, Mary Lou.
There's Mary Lou and Gone. Oh, that's Candy. My screen must be dirty. It looks like a G.
Yeah. Well,
Yep,
Carol's posted some
Candy.
really. Carol will be posting some awesome pictures of
Yes, I will.
the white tundra, so to speak.
It was beautiful all the way across, actually.
Yeah. Flat, and every once in a while, there's a tree.
Yeah, seriously.
I know. That's kind of what Florida's like. Florida is so friggin' flat. It is just flat, 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 flat. Boring flat. I don't even think there's a hill in Florida. Well, maybe in this middle of the state. You drive up through the middle of Florida, you get up into Ocala. If someone plopped you down in the middle of Ocala and asked you to guess what state you were in, you would never guess Florida because it looks like Kentucky. Oh, yeah, there's a picture. There you go.
That's the center of Canada.
That's right.
Exactly the center.
Gail's going, yes, there are a few hills in Florida. A lot of them are garbage dumps. I hate to burst your bubble, Gal, but that's where they dump the garbage and then they grow grass over the hills. But there are some hills, yes. I don't know what I'm talking. I grew up on the flat side of Long Island, so I have no business to talk about. The North Shore of Long Island's got some hills, and the South Shore is flat, flat, flat. But so there's a whole bunch of you guys here.
Use guys.
You guys, the Utes are here. The Utes. Hi, Andrea. Yeah, thank you. Hi, Chris.
There's yes, I'm live. I'm live. I'm alive.
She's alive. Yes. Yeah.
Barbara and Andrea. And who else came in? It's nice to
Yeah.
see everybody.
Yeah, it is. Carol's happy to be back. And there's Jens. Hi, Jens. Listening and adulting. Okay, that's always a good thing. Use guys, yeah. Or as Vinny in was it Cousins? He said the Utes. That was a funny movie. Oh my gosh, great.
Sasquatch.
Oh, that's the Canadian name. Oh, there he is. Oh my gosh.
I said I took some amazing pictures
Does he have
along
a
the way.
diaper? Looks like he's got a diaper on.
Yeah, he's hiding his private
And
parts.
he's hiding his Sasquatch manliness.
Uh,
That is funny. My
oh
cousin.
yeah,
Oh,
we had
that
a
was funny.
great drive.
Hi, Beck.
Hi, Becky.
Yeah, Sasquatch. All right. I have I was going through my book and I never pre-read. I look at a title, and this one is titled Crayolas. I don't think that's perfect for us, right? So I'm going to read
Mhm.
about what Robert Fulgrim has to say about Crayolas, because I know we all have a lot to say about Crayolas. At least I do. Good stuff, only good stuff. All right. Good friends finally put their resources together and made themselves a child, a son, me. I'm the godfather in the deal. I take my job seriously. So far, I've introduced the kid to the good things in life: chocolate, beer, cigars, Beethoven, and dirty jokes. I don't think the kid cares much for Beethoven, but he's only a year and a half old, which is why beer, cigars, and dirty jokes don't cut much ice with him either. Yes, on chocolate, though. I haven't told him about sex yet, but he's got some ideas of his own already. I won't go into the details here, but if you've ever had a little kid or have ever been a little kid, then you know what I mean. We seem to figure out right away where certain parts are. Also, I introduced him to crayons. Bought the Crayola beginner's set, the short, fat, thick ones with training wheels. Every few weeks, I would put one in his hand and show him how to make a mark with it. Mostly, he just held it and stared at me. Then we went through the orifice stuffing phase where the Crayola went in his mouth and ears and nose. And finally, last week, I held his hand and made a big red mark with the Crayola on a sheet of newsprint. And wham, he got the picture. A light bulb went off in the new room in his head. Yes, he did it again on his own, and again and again. Now, reports his mother, with a mixture of pleasure and pain, there is no stopping him from making his mark on the walls of his existence, wherever and whenever he feels like it. Crayolas plus imagination, the ability to create images, these make for happiness if you are a child. Amazing things, Crayolas. Some petroleum based wax, some dye, a little binder, not much to them, until you add the imagination. The Binney Company in Pennsylvania makes about 2 billion of these. Oh wow, I can't pronounce that word. 2 billion of these olignaceous sticks of pleasure every year and exports them to every country in the United Nations. Wow. Crayolas are one of the few things the human race has in common. That green and yellow box hasn't changed since 1937. In fact, the only change has been to rename the flesh color peach. That's a sign of progress. When I bought my godson his trainer set, I indulged myself, bought my very own set of 64 in the big 4-section box with the sharpener built right in. Never had my own set before. Seems like I always was too young or too old to have one. While I was at it, I bought several sets. Got one for the kid's mother and father and explained it was theirs, not his. Fine gift. What I notice is that every adult or child I give a new set of Crayolas to goes a little funny. The kids smile, get a glazed look on their faces, pour the crayons out, and just look at them for a while. Then they go to work on the nearest flat surface and will draw anything you ask, just name it. The adults always get the most wonderful kind of sheepish smile on their faces, a mixture of delight and nostalgia and silliness. And they immediately start telling you about all their experiences with Crayolas. Their first box. using every color, breaking them, trying to get them in the box in order again, trying to use them in a bundle, putting them on hot things to see them melt, shaving them onto waxed paper and ironing them into stained glass windows, eating them, and on and on. If you want an interesting adult party sometime, combine cocktails and a fresh box of Crayolas for everybody. Now that sounds like my kind of party. When you think about it, for sheer bulk, there's more art done with Crayolas than with anything else. There must be billions of sheets of paper in every country in the world, in billions of boxes and closets and attics and cupboards, covered with billions of pictures in crayon. The imagination of the human race poured out like a river in low and high places. Even presidents and prime ministers and generals all use Crayolas sometime in their lives. Maybe we should develop a Crayola bomb as our next secret weapon, a happiness weapon, a beauty bomb. And every time a crisis developed, we would launch one first before we tried anything else. It would explode high in the air, explode softly, and send thousands, millions of little parachutes into the air, floating down to earth, boxes of Crayolas. And we wouldn't go cheap either. Not little boxes of 8, boxes of 64 with sharpeners built right in, with silver and gold and copper, magenta and peach and lime, amber and umber and all the rest. And people would smile and get a little funny look on their faces and cover the world with imagination instead of death. A child who touched one wouldn't have his hand blown off. Guess that sounds absurd, doesn't it? A bit dumb, crazy, silly, and weird. Let me be clear about this. When I consider the horrible things we have developed at horrifying expense to drop out of the sky, when I think about what those weapons will do, well then, I'm not confused about what's weird and crazy and absurd. I'm not confused about the lack of or the need for imagination in low or high places. We could do better. We must do better. There are far worse things to drop on people than Crayolas. Wow, that was a really good one. Get out the crayons. Now I want to get out my box of crayons. I don't even have a box of 64. I think I've got a box of 48. Imagine. Yes, the song Imagine. Exactly. Super. Wow. I like that one a lot. I think a cocktail party, and you could get just freezer wrap paper, big rolls of freezer wrap paper, and everyone gets a box of 64, and Tito's or whatever your pleasure is. That would be a fun thing. I'm gonna check. Red 4-2. All right. Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Robert, for an inspiring Crayola story. I am going to attempt to. I always like to preface everything. Yeah, it does sound like fun, doesn't it? I always preface everything with attempt to, and I am inspired, several times a week because I watch a lot of YouTubers. And I did come across a new YouTuber, an artist, and it was funny because I was talking to, I think, Barbara last Thursday about this person, and this person popped up in both of our feeds, and her name is Creative Cool. Oh Lordy. Hi, Nashua. And anyway, she did some really neat watercolor things, kind of like Marsha CC Creations. And I'm just, this is not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to show you. I did do a couple of pieces based on what she did. And I just want to share those with you. So this is what I kind of inspired by Creative Cool. I don't think that's it, but I think it's Creative Cool. Hi, Rebecca. Yeah. Oh, Creative Cove. Thank Mike. I was close.
Yeah, I watch her too.
Yeah, I just discovered her like last week.
Oh, I've been watching her for a while. Hi, Rebecca.
Yeah, I know. Well, I realize I can see that she's been on for a while, but I just discovered her. So this was my Creative Cove. Thank you. So this was my attempt at doing a little Creative Cove, like sketching, doodling, and watercoloring. And this is in the watercolor book that I made that was Nick the Booksmith's creation. The only problem is you got to take the paper out because you really don't want to fold the paper, but it's easy to take the paper out. And then I just stick it back in like so. And that goes over. And there's a magnet here. There. Okay.
Lots of people just discovered her.
Yeah, I guess Sophie must have just gone out. Please make yourself bigger 3. Oh, that's a smile.
Mm.
Okay. So let's see. That's this way, I guess. Is that the way she wants? I guess.
Yeah. Well, I don't have much of a desk for this size, so.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go up. Let me go. I was kind of zoomed in, and I'll try that. How's the light? I have my light. I have no glare, but my light's kind of like flashing over there. That's good. Okay. All right. Okay. So I came across a book that I made. We made a while ago, and it's kind of like really an ode to Joe DeFee, who is on a hiatus, and I made it out of just junk mail, and I'm going to add to it today. But I started to look through it, and I said to Carol earlier when I was looking at it, I thought to myself, I made this because it was so long ago, but it couldn't have been that long ago. So I'm just going to do a quick flip through, and then I'm going to proceed with what I'm hoping to do today. Let's see, Rebecca's okay. And I've got to do this page, but it's got room for several more, signatures because it's the travel notebook finding where it's got the elastic, and you can just add signatures, which is wonderful. So I've got a lot of little, and you'll be able to, if you're familiar with Joe DeFee, you will heavily see her influence in this junk journal. But all these pages that are covered, they're all from junk mail that I've received. And I can't get all of me in here.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah.
the problem with this view for the moment. You want to go bigger, you can make yourself bigger.
Okay.
Till while you're showing.
Okay. Let me do this.
I'm not doing anything exciting anyway.
Okay, let me do this then. And this is just all pieces of stuff that I had. And that's kind of cool. And then again, this is junk mail, and you get that stuff in the junk mail that opens up. So this just opens up. And you know how me and my flippy flops. And this is from Janet Nash's. She did a little zine, an owl zine when she was at the beach. And cut that up. And here's a pocket. And this has got 1, 2 pockets. So I can stick stuff in here. And I have stuff I can stick in here because I got some really neat stuff. I got a lovely tag from Barbara Clark for my birthday. So I can stick this right in here like so. How cool is that? And I'm going to take her card apart. And this was her card. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. And I will take that apart. And I got a beautiful card from Becky. And I can take that apart and make that into a tag and stick that into a pocket too. So that's a 3-pocketer. A neat lady from the 50s. But and this is this is a well, this is a joie de fille, one of her envelope things. This is just an old envelope that's been recycled. This is a great way to get rid of scraps and such. And that's the big 3-inch punch. And a little pocket there. And this is one of the things that she did. Remember these, Carol, with the watercolor and the stitching?
Yep.
And I cut this one up. They were a lot of fun to make.
Yeah, they were.
And they came out so cool. I cut those up to fit in this journal. So I've got a couple of them. Let's see. Yeah, here's another part of that here. Does this open? No, this has got a, oh, this opens like so. Whoops. There we go. Zoop. Pulls up. And here's another kind of tag. And another, I guess I was really into making the 3 pocket thingy. And it's a bunny stamp I love. This is the other side of a junk mail envelope. And this opens like so. I like, these are all, I think that's a Becky. I know that's from Becky.
Hi, Angie.
Hi, Angie. Good to see you. And this is a little tiny envelope over here that's got postage stamps in it. This is a stamp that I made. These are stamps that I made. This is out of my father's high school yearbook from 1937. Hi, Rosemary. I got your package. Thank you so much.
Hi, Rosemary.
And this is a gigantic tag I made. This keeps on giving and giving and giving. And again, this opens up. Oh, look, it's our Canadian Tire dude, Carol.
That's cute.
Yeah. Can you imagine? These are valuable coupons that Carol gifted to me. She gets a whole 25 cents off a $300 tire? I don't know.
Or what? Yeah, really.
And this little thing came out of my brother's wallet south of the border. Tequila Rummy, Pedro plays. But that's, again, and that goes back in here. I haven't looked at this in a long time, and I'm just kind of amazed to see this. That's the punch out. Again, this is, if you notice, this is Timmy stuff here. I'm pretty sure that's Timmy stuff. And that's the end of that signature. So that's one signature. And for some reason, I didn't do the last page here or the first page in it, but that's, if you can see, that's one signature. You can see the elastic right there. And the book, this here is just book pages. Coffee, I brushed coffee on them. I didn't stain. I just used coffee I just used a paintbrush. And then I just ran it through my sewing machine and did several layers. And that's actually the cover. And then I have like a little piece of cardboard in here that kind of gave this some support. So I've got this one signature here. And I'm going to be adding to this signature here. So now there's another signature here. That's what's so great about these travel journals. You can just keep on adding to it. And so this is another junk mail, but I have gone through and added color. And I think this is Seth Apter zinc sprays and such, and maybe some jelly stuff. And then this third signature, which is junk mail, I haven't done anything to it at all, right? And look, I have another, I can stick another one in here if I want to. And so it can be, and there's plenty of room for it to, well, expand. I did a center thing here that's buried under all of that. So these are really fun to make, and you can find there are all sorts of how-to videos on how to make these. But so I've got this, I've got two here and then two on the other side. And so I'm going to make the attempt is, I'm going to make a masterboard and then cut it up and then use it. So that's the plan. I love the way these jump. Oh, you pitch it as soon as yeah, I used to, and then I have trouble throwing it out, and I get an enormous amount of junk mail, unfortunately, and but I try to use it. But let's face it. I think that this here represented. I think this represented 1 week's worth, and and then it's every week, so I could make a whole bunch of these. So anyway, so let me do the masterboard, and I'm sure you're all familiar with. Oh, let me show you what Rosemary sent me. I won. Was it a contest? It was what was the question was name Susan's boss. And I'm not sure I was the absolute first, but I was awarded it. And I remember feeling it may have had something to do with that. It was kind of near my birthday. But if you see this over here, I was in the process. It's about time to change my drop cloth or my drop, whatever this is. So I started stenciling on it. And then I've got yellow and then bicycles. And eventually I'll finish all of that. Tear this off, cut it up into whatever, and then put down a fresh piece of freezer wrap. This is freezer wrap. But this is what I won at Rosemary's. And look at all this lusciousness.
Oh, lucky you.
I know. Look at this beautiful greens. And I think all of the packs were color coded, and I won the green, and there's all sorts of material in here, and just all sorts of goodness. That's from the Renaissance. I know that. One of these days, I'm going to finish the Renaissance. Mulberry tree leaves. I was actually drawing those. I have a little. And look at all this. Look, that's just a face close. Who would even think? Oh, that is so cool. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Ooh. So I'm going to be playing with this, and I think some of this might end up in the, I know where this is going. This is going to go in that third spot in the journal, where I haven't done anything. This will be a perfect spot for that. Oh, look at this. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Now, Rose, were these, I know these were scraps from something. Obviously, this is all green, which I love. Green's right up there with my favorite kind of teal blue.
All dyed with mulberry leaves.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I've never attempted dyeing. Well, I don't think anybody
I've only used inks. I've hammered flowers and stuff onto paper, but I've never done I've used fabric paint and did material that way, but nothing to this extent.
I remember going to a folk festival in upstate New York, where women were standing by these gigantic cauldrons and just stirring. I'll never forget it. She was stirring this big boiling pot of lettuce. It was lettuce, and who would think that lettuce would produce this beautiful pale green, but she was dying. I mean, I can understand using beets and carrots and maybe, but she was using lettuce, and she was storing up this big batch of lettuce to make a dye. For some reason, that just sticks in my head. I had avocado pits and skins in my freezer for about 6 months, and I finally just threw them out because I figured if I hadn't done anything with them in 6 months, I was not going to do anything. And if I wanted to do something, I could just go buy more avocados. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I recall it was lettuce, and that I found that very interesting. I didn't think that there'd be any color from lettuce because it's what 99% water. So I was reading, Angie, I'm so sorry you're having trouble with your hand, and that can be really difficult, especially with your crafting. I'm sorry to hear that. I pulled out some bits and pieces out of my junk drawer, so to speak, and I'm going to start putting these down. Let me put us side by side again, and I'm going to go for the wider view, and I just like that better because we can see a little bit more of what we're doing here. I think, as I recall, Angie, you've already you saw a doctor, and then he thinks you should go to a hand specialist. As I recall, and I think it's a cyst. You think?
Yeah, I think that's what she said. Well, I hope they can fix it up for you, Angie.
Yeah, I hope so too. Not fun. Not fun at all. Yeah, I had something wrong with my thumb area many years ago, and I went to a guy that was a hand specialist. He did some surgery. Never had any problem with it afterwards. He had a great name. His name was Hermansdorfer. And I had his children. Oh, okay. Yes. And I haven't, yeah, I'm reading what Barbara said about her Epson. Yeah, you got to dig, and I haven't really gone down as deep as you can go. Yeah, you have to really Google that because there's a fine tune where you can really increase the intensity of the colors and really make it perform the way you want it to perform. Takes up a lot of ink. Oh, really? Because I've had my Epson Echo Tank for quite a while now. Now I don't use it as much as I have a laser printer too. I just started using it more recently because my laser printer needs toner, and it's an expensive undertaking. So I've switched to the Epson. We have a family of doctors here with that same name, not Hermansdorfer. Oh, doctor. Okay, all right. That's interesting. Wasn't there? Oh, that was. I was going to say, wasn't there a doctor in Catch-22? No, the guy was. His name was Major. His first name was Major, and he was a major, so he was Major character in.
Hey, Marty. Thank you, Janet.
Marty. Hi, Marty. Good to see you. I had this all laid out, and then I dumped it all out, and now I have no idea where everything was because I figured it doesn't really matter as long as I kind of get it back on here. Masterboards are a lot of fun. Great way to use up scraps. The only problem with masterboards for most of us would be the size. We can't really go much bigger than an 8x10. I mean, because I can't put anything in my printer beyond an 8x10. I've seen people make them on scrapbook paper, but you can't copy that easily, at least. And I'm going to use, this is one of the things from the Joe DeFee stitchy things. And the other thing I've never done, believe it or not, I know you're going to, I've never scanned anything. Oh, thanks, Janet. Yeah, thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. And I couldn't understand the purpose of scanning until I think Barbara pointed it out to me. That if you scan it, then you have a digital copy of it. And then you can
use it again and again and again.
Yeah, without having to, yeah. Because I figured, well, what's the difference between scanning and just sticking it in the tray? And but now I get it. Sometimes I'm a little dense, but it finally made sense to me.
Yep, I either with my phone has a scanner with your phone, so I usually scan that, or on my printer.
Okay, all right.
I have pictures and scanned stuff of everything.
Okay, all right. I mean, it's interesting. I should try. Well, I'll have to do that. I take pictures of stuff, with my phone. Take a photo of it and then upload it to my drive. And then, but I've never, okay. I guess my phone, I think I have a scanning app on my phone. Pretty sure I do. So you just turn your phone on, turn on the scanning app, and then scan whatever.
No, it gives me the option as soon as I click for the photo to take a photo, if you want to scan or not.
Huh. I've never noticed that. That doesn't mean it's not there. See, I gave myself a neat challenge.
It lights up in it. It highlights exactly around the picture if you have a scan right already on your phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you have an Android or Apple, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know nothing about apples, but from everything I hear, they're like hard. They don't want to do anything.
Hey. Barbara said, I gave myself a neat challenge. I printed out 3 copies of a jelly background I liked and then made 3 new pieces of art with it. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah. I have a love-hate relationship with my jelly plate. And Carol still has to clean hers off. She still has paper stuck to hers. So.
That's right.
At least mine is clean.
I have no ambition to clean it off.
Yeah. This is something that I've been so hard for me to use this, but I'm going to use it. And it came from Janet Nash. And it's a train ticket. So I'm going to use it. Actually, yeah, it's a train ticket. And I can just picture Janet on the train traveling.
And stitching as she goes.
Yes. So, and this was from June 13th, 2022. But there it is. It'll live in infamy on this masterboard.
Becky, you would think.
What'd she say?
She says after this long, it could pull right off. You would think. But at this point, I have no clue where it is.
So Carol was showing me, and I'm sure she's going to share at some point. We were talking about her trip across Canada and how they were going to stop and get all those goodies things along the way from when they stopped along the way. and she hit the mother load.
I did.
Yes. Well, you can tell them a little bit about the story.
We got lots of goodies.
This lady was very generous. And that's the neat thing. You get all the, but nowadays a lot of it's digital. I know if you go and you want to get like a state tourist thing, if you go to their website, they want to send it to you digitally. And if you want a printed copy, you can usually get one, but you have to go through. There's a lot of clicks involved before you can, get a digital one. Does anybody remember when Shannon Green? She got the state catalog to Oklahoma, and it was gorgeous. It looked like a pair of jeans. It was almost 3-dimensional, and she did all sorts of neat stuff with it. And everyone apparently started going to clicking the button for the Oklahoma State tourist guide or whatever, and it was a gorgeous, beautiful publication.
Yes, when I do my live, I'm gonna show
Yes.
some of the goodies.
Oh boy, are they good? Yes. Got some good stuff. And Loka traveled well. Yes.
Yeah, she did really well. She slept pretty good. She didn't like the other dogs that were out running around crazy when we'd stop for gas. Somebody let their dogs out and just left them run.
Oh,
We
really?
were sitting in the car, and it's like, seriously, your dogs are going to get hit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so when they came right up to the car, she wasn't pleased.
Oh no, that would be really scary. That takes a lot of guts to do that. Unless you know your dog is so trained that you call them and they're going to come. I don't know that. Oh boy.
And she did really good in the elevators.
Oh gosh, she had to go up in an elevator?
Yes, she had a great adventure, I'll tell you.
It's too bad
She
she
was
can't talk.
she was really good. She was really good.
Let's see. Becky says, not sure why, but there are 5 pictures of my roadside sewing machine. Okay, yes, I will send out all kinds of catalogs. Huh. Well, some of those magazines, there'll be a card, and then there'll be numbers that you can circle, and the numbers will represent different states, and you can just send in that one card, and it supposedly. But a lot of them are just like sometimes you get some really cool pictures.
Yeah, she was really good, but yes, the lady, she was really nice with all of her stuff, especially since I don't have anything, so it was like, wow, thank you.
Yeah, I know. It was just like starting afresh.
Yeah.
That was supposed
Oh, I had my stuff, all my little glue outy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pitch it, I packed it.
Well,
So,
that must have been hard.
nope, didn't throw anything away. I kept it. It's not that it was a lot. It's like 5 little envelopes of stuff, but
Oh, okay. All right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
All my images and stuff and the napkins, I only have 6 of these little envelopes.
Oh, okay.
That's all the cutty out stuff I've got.
Okay.
They're this size envelope.
Okay.
And then I just filled them.
Right. Okay. And I have, oh my God, trays and trays and trays. And I almost bought some more.
Uh-oh.
I stopped myself. I was able to stop myself. And stop. Make that 6 copies. I hit the cancel. Oh my gosh. That's scary when the printer goes wild and then, all of a sudden it's printing out all these copies. Well, one of the things you're supposed to do with this is she scanned it, and then printed it out. And then she printed it out on a piece of tracing paper. Well, I tried doing that, and I've done it in the past where you kind of tape the tracing paper to the regular paper, and it kind of goes through. But the Epson Echo tank did not like that at all, and immediately got tangled. See, Scott must have started it off before he left. Aw, that's a funny sentence, Becky. I just want you to say. I want to read it. He has gone to give an old laptop to a lady that needed one. That's I thought it said okay. I read that.
And mine's in the gutter.
I think that's very generous of him. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, it's coming along. Now I had this in here. This is this is a stamp that I made a long time ago. And we'll have a bullseye here. Put this here. Now we are now in hot mode here, and it's the beginning of April, and it's in the 90s. It's been in the night, well, for the last 2 days. But I feel so bad for the people in Mississippi where they've had all those horrible tornadoes. Tornadoes are just so terrifying. Oh my God.
I saw that one, and wasn't there a second one that came through?
I'm not sure. There's now. They're just, yeah. In Florida, honestly, I don't know where I would go. There's no basements in Florida. And we have tornadoes here that usually pop up in the middle of a hurricane, which is even, they just kind of, and they say to go to an interior room, like a bathroom, because that's got, and if there were some pictures of that was all that was left was that interior room. My bathrooms are both on exterior walls. Thank you, Candy, because summer makes me very unhappy too, and people look at me like I've got 2 heads when I say that. So I'm not the only one. At least here. That was probably not a good idea to stick that in the middle of it. But you know what? It is what it is, right?
Yep.
It makes a statement. Yep. And I'm not going to print this out because I printed them out already for the sake of time. So I'm going to show you what it looked like before I dumped it all out and reconstructed it, which looks nothing like this. Kind of nothing like this. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. There. Okay, there we go. Okay. And this is not going to make it. Oh, I have my little bunny rabbit. Sorry, the bunny's got to go on. Summer mornings, including maybe something in the middle of the day. Not so much. Yeah, that's kind of not. Yeah, that's true. I actually had the front door open and the porch windows open this morning.
It's only 35 degrees here.
Oh. Now, I'm assuming that even like in August, it's going to be what, maybe 50, 60 degrees if you're
Oh, no, it gets warmer.
okay. Well, I was talking to my son and, my Utah son, and he's the big Canadian football
you.
fan. The Canadian football fan, and he went to Calgary and Edmonton to see CFL games. And he was there in July.
Oh.
Is that Loka speaking to us?
Yes.
Hello, Loka.
What? Do you need to go out? I'll be back.
Some things just never change, right? Out. Yeah, he was there in July, and he said it was pretty cool. Oh, okay. Got hot in Western Canada. All right, so that's my masterboard. However, that's not the masterboard I'm going to cut up and use because I have to scan it, which I've never done. So I printed out the other one. And you'll see that you're going to say, well, that looks nothing like the one that we just did. And it doesn't, but there it is. It's got all the same components. And so that's what it looks like. And then when you print it out, it's hard. I should try to print it out without borders. And that doesn't seem to work that well. And it's hard to cut this up. So anyway, so here's the one that I did earlier and printed out to cut up and use and to use in my journal. So I'm going to, first off, I'm going to make an envelope out of this, and which is going to be about half of it, and then make a tag. And she was able to print hers out, and it came out bigger than this, even though she was using an A4, and I think an A4 is about about the same as our 8x10, our letter size. But okay, I will do that, and I will get out my Timmy ruler with the metal edge that we just discovered, just realized we had. And I'm going to make an envelope. And
thanks, everybody.
Metal like so. Mm-hmm.
I didn't bring any water down with me, so I'm going to have to finish the page after.
Oh no, you don't have a water brush?
None that work.
Oh, okay. Well, I screwed that up totally. Oh well. That's totally messed up. And I don't know. I did something wrong. What else is new? That's okay. We'll just... I will make it.
I'll just have to run water over this another time.
Is it water? Oh, okay.
Stabilo.
Stabilo, yes. This is going to be a real simple envelope. It's going to be just... This is the envelope right here. And yeah, that's another thing I learned the other day is that the Stabilo the markers that I have are water.
Yeah. They're nice. They're nice markers. I used to have a set of those a long time ago.
Yeah. I think that was one of the first things I bought. Never knew that. All right, so that's going to be a little envelope that's going to go in the thingy. And then if I can reach up here, I can get a thingy. Oh, a thingy majiggy to put a hole in the thing. Oops. Okay.
No, Barbara. Yes, no licking this. No, no licking this Stabilo. I don't do that.
I thought that was kind of cool until I realized how many people were grossed out by that. It didn't gross me out at all. But that's me. But apparently, it really put a lot of people off. They didn't particularly care for the spit, the spittage, because I don't really have. I tried to do that, but I don't produce a lot of spit. I guess. So I'm going to get out my handy dandy sewing machine, my baby, my $59 wonder. And I'm going to stitch up my envelope, and it'll only take a second. I haven't used this in a while. Yeah, I don't use.
Hi, Sophia.
Sophia. Let's do how about a zigzag? I'll show off the wonders of my sewing machine. Excuse the noise, it won't be loud. There we go. And she ran some stitches across her masterboard, which I did not do. There. Now I have a little envelope that's stitched. That came out cool. Yeah, I bought this sewing machine probably, I bet you it's about a year ago, I would bet, I guess.
You've gotten good use out of it.
I have. For $59, and it does everything that, it stitches through some heavy duty. It'll stitch through like a cereal box, cardboard, It's done that. It's got a built-in light. It has batteries in it. It has 4 batteries, so it'll run without electric power, very slowly, mind you. The only thing that doesn't work is the foot pedal. It's got a faulty connection, so I just have to use the on and off, switch. And well, Carol was with me when I decided I was going to buy a upgrade my sewing machine, and I got a brother. And I got it, and I opened it up, and during the chat room, Deb Farrell helped me, and Becky was there, and they all helped me and held my hand. I got the whole thing kind of up and working, and decided I didn't like it. And for whatever reason, I just didn't like it. So it was an Amazon purchase, and with Amazon, they make it very easy to return. So I put it in the box and returned it. And I've looked at it several times. I'm going to round the corners. I've looked at it several times since then and pondered whether I wanted to purchase it again or another one. And I keep on deciding against that. So I don't know. One day, maybe. But for what, I'm not doing anything other than stitching. All I want to do is stitch paper. And but I actually hemmed a pair of pants, which was, I'd never done that. It has, it's got the cutaway thing, so you can put a sleeve in or a pair of pants, And I actually was able to do that.
Oh, crap.
I buy scrubs, the surgical scrub pants. They're great for crafting because they got all those pockets. And a lot of times I'll cut them and make them into like, I don't know what they call them, capris, whatever they call them. I'll make them into those. And all right, so I have my little pocket. Now the next thing.
And I'm going to have to run.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to have to go, but thanks for having me.
Okay. All right.
So I'll see everybody again soon.
All right.
So enjoy the rest of your stream. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. All righty. Bye-bye. Oh, you have warm-up jackets. I didn't know they made warm-up jackets. That's interesting. Huh. It was great seeing Carol. And this was, we weren't sure whether she'd get everything set up in time, but she managed to get her, get stuff so it was working. Oh, you bought a Brother sewing machine from Costco some years back? Yeah, I don't know that there was anything wrong with it. I don't know. Well, I know part of the problem was that it was much bigger and heavier than obviously this little one. This little one I can pick up with one hand and just plop it right on my desk and then put it back on a little shelf underneath my working area. And with the Brother, I would not have been able to, use it I wouldn't have been able to manage it that way. So the next thing I'm going to make out of the masterboard was I'm going to make a tag. Oh, wait a minute. Could I make a bigger envelope? I can make another envelope. All right. Or a tag. Let's see. I have a picture that I want to make a tag out of, but I'm going to put it on this. Yeah, I mean, and it has, literally, it has no name. It really has no name. But I found a video on how to use it, and I'd have to go refer to the video numerous times on how to thread it. But now I can thread it. I finally can figure out. I mean, I don't have to check the video on how to thread it. After numerous attempts, I finally have. That process of threading it has sunk into my thick brain, and I can manage it on my own, which is a good thing. I think I'm going to use that instead of gray, because black always is. Yeah, that looks much better. All righty, so I'm going to make a tag out of this here. And I was going to use an old photograph, but I'm going to use this. This is it's not a good stamp. I tried to stamp this, and this is one of the stamps I was going to send to Dee Dee, and I could not get a clear stamp or one that wasn't fuzzy, but this will look really cool. I'm going to cut her out. I'm going to mount this on this like so. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. And let me just make sure that that's going to fit on my, well, I don't know whether these pages are going to be big enough. But I tell you, I had a lot of fun going back and looking at this, and I'm really excited about adding on to this. Let's see. All right, all right, that'll work. Okay, and I can do a flippy floppy out with that. So that's going to be fine. Okay, very good. And I'm just going to make a little mark here. So you can see that. What you doing, Lily? So I hope everyone is doing well. I'll be right back. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, Safia. See you later this week. Tomorrow, I have to go and have my other cancer spot removed, so I'm not looking forward to that. I had a spot on my cheek that was removed March 16th. And I have a spot on my forehead. And I guess, I was talking to my best friends here in Florida, and she said, oh my gosh, they live on like a block from the ocean, and they walk on the beach every day. I walk on the beach every day. All there are is all these people sunbathing with, bandages on from where they've had skin cancer spots removed. So it's a pretty common occurrence. Yet I haven't sunbathed in years, but I'm paying. This is a payback for all those years when I recklessly sunbathed as a teenager. And I think we were talking about this last week. How many of you sunbathe using baby oil and little iodine? Hi, Deb. Good to see you. You just missed Carol. Carol was here for a while and had to leave. But we did the baby oil and iodine. I mean, the baby oil wasn't enough. You had to add iodine to give you that little. And actually, copper tone wasn't really a sunscreen. It kind of dyed your skin, so it made you look tanner. Let's see, yep. Oh, okay. Big chunk precancerous. All right. Oh. Well, this was just a rough patch. It was just a little rough patch on my cheek. Most people wouldn't even notice it. And they did a biopsy on it, and damned if it didn't come back positive. So it is what it is. And so I get to have that tomorrow. My neighbor took me the last time, but I'm going to take myself this time. I'm just going to drive myself. I'll be fine. It's the doctor's office is about just 2.5 miles from where I live. Oh, you had some precancerous? Okay. Oh, wow. Look, see? Now I don't feel all alone in this. Look at all you folks. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Primary care. Noticed it. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. Yeah. Well, I just started 2 years ago. I decided I should probably go and get a yearly check, giving that's what you do. So I had my first yearly check. And they froze that spot on my cheek. And then it came back, and then I waited for my second yearly check, and they froze it again, and I should have gone right back. And they should have done a biopsy then, but they didn't. So I think it probably wouldn't have been as bad. But melanomas, oh, okay. All right. And I had lunch with my sister-in-law yesterday, and she's had several spots removed on her legs. So, but she's in the sun a lot. She doesn't sunbathe, but she's out more in the sun than I am. Look at this. Sister had melanoma removed from her arm. Doctor says, I saved his life. Okay. What did you do, Candy? Oh, okay. And I guess, we weren't really aware of it back in the day in terms of, and now, of course, they have sunscreen that's good for 50. And hi, Joyce. I had basal cell up on my nose and left a scar. Yeah. I think I'm going to have quite the scar. Now, I removed the stitches, let's see, last week, 2 weeks ago. And the nurse said that, you know, even though the scar is on my face, she said the doctor owns it. Meaning that I can go back and he will do anything he can do to reduce the scarring, you know, in his power, you know, laser, whatever they do to can reduce the scar after it's given time to heal. That's all part of the package. I don't care that I have a scar. I will no longer be able to be a cheek model. I'll have to model my hands instead of my cheek. That's right. I forgot about that. You're right, Carol. Yeah, Lizzie. Yeah. Well, it's amazing when I bring it up how many people have dealt with this. Oh, wow. I've heard of that. People have had skin grafts and they took cartilage from my ear and put it on. Oh, wow. It's amazing what they can do. Isn't that something? Now, this dermatologist, he did a fellowship. He did his fellowship in facial reconstruction. So I just hope the forehead one won't be as invasive as the cheek. Because I had something called, maybe you're familiar with it, it's a process called Mohs surgery, Mohs. It's a process where they just take a thin, they slice a thin layer of skin and then they look at it right there. There's a lab right there and they look at it. And if they didn't get it all, they go back and take another slice. And if they didn't get it, they go back and take another slice. Yes, obviously. I'll take a scar any day. You're right. And they keep slicing away until they feel that they've gotten it all. I was talking to another crafter, Pat. She said that she had the same surgery. And she had 3 stitches. I counted, I had 21 stitches on my cheek. So I'm going to cut her out. Cut it out. I'm going to cut her out. This is really a neat stamp. And I really should have used I have one of those little stamp platformy things. That would have been the wise thing to do, because especially when you're trying to stamp with such a big stamp, to get it, you really need to do it more than once. So you need one of those stamp thingies. They keep it in place. I was too lazy to reach above me to get it down, literally. I always amaze myself at my laziness. Okay, Gail, great seeing you, as always. Take care and see you out and about on the internet. I really like this stamp. I have a stamp it's like just the lips and part of the nose and part of the eye. And I think it's the same face. I think they're indigo blue stamps. Okay. It's a little bit too big, All right, I'm not happy with that. So what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can do that. Put that, I want to cut it there. Well, let's see, will it fit? Will it fit? If I use it as a flippy floppy. Thanks, Deb. be okay. And then I'll do this, and then I can do something here. Do something here. Maybe put the okay. All right. I won't cut it down then, because that would be problematic to cut it down. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some foam on her to kind of give her some depth. Put some foam pads on her. I got some Dollar Tree foam pads, and we'll stick those on her. And that's me. Oh, that's right. I didn't. Okay. That's you. Yes. All right. Okay. I didn't make the correlation, Trish. Okay. Patricia, Trish, duh. Okay. Yes. We had this big discussion about this the other day, a couple of weeks ago now. Yeah. And that was you. Really? Have you tried unplugging it, Becky? Just unplug it. And then it'll kind of, when you plug it back in again, it'll kind of do a hard reset. That's annoying. I think sometimes these things have a mind of their own. And yeah, these are pretty good. These are Dollar Tree special sticky things. Let's see. And they're very sticky. In there. Whoops. Stick. Just sticky. Stick. Oops. Well, they are Dollar Tree. Okay, get a couple more. One here, and then we'll put her down and see what we got. Yes. You've got a possessed printer. I will if it print. Okay, yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. That's annoying. Well, I thought I got a really good deal on a color laser printer. I was all excited because it was such a great deal. Well, it is. But then when I got it, I realized that that's all it did. It just prints it. You can't copy that. You can't scan anything. Okay, Deb. So it's limited. But I can, print, like if I'm getting a digital download, I can print, directly to that printer, and it comes out pretty good. I have to say that I came across another group of crafters, and, a lot of these ladies, a lot of them, not that I need more stuff, but a lot of them have freebies, and lots of freebies, and you can download a lot of free digis from a lot of these crafters. And I'm always want to download the freebies, and I don't know what I'm going to do with all of them, but I just downloaded a couple of more. What do I have? Oh, okay. The time looks good. All right. I have time to make that. It's a really cute little clipboard thingy that I downloaded today. Okay, I'm going to stick her there. There. And yes. What? Lily's talking to me. I fed her. I feed her. She gets tuna fish. And the only reason she gets tuna fish is that I have to give her arthritis medicine because she's got arthritis, just like me. And it comes in a capsule. But it's, the capsule is meant to be opened, and you sprinkle the powder out on So wet cat food, you can't really sprinkle it out on dry cat food because that wouldn't be, you wouldn't have, it just wouldn't be ideal. So I started giving her tuna fish, chicken of the sea, tuna fish, tuna, chunk light tuna, packed in water. And I order it by the case from Amazon. And it comes out to be about $1 for a 5-ounce can. So she eats a half a can, so 50 cents a day for tuna. So I ordered a case. And it came, but it was packed in vegetable oil. And obviously that's not what I ordered. I wanted it packed in water. So I went online and I said, hey, you sent me the, I did the whole return thing. And since it was $24, they said that I didn't have to return it because a lot of times they'll do that. It's cheaper for me not to return it, just to keep it. So they said, don't return it. And I would have been happy to get a replacement, but there was no way where I could figure out where I could just replace it with tuna packed in water. So I just got the refund, right? Added to put back into my account. So I have a credit. And I figured, well, maybe she'll eat that. And if she eats that, then, I get 48 days worth of free cat food. So we are kind of struggling here because she's not sure whether she likes it. And I drain it really well. And I don't know that I want to go through the bother of draining it and then rinsing it in water to get it really oil free. So I've given it to her a couple of times and she's not real happy about it. But again, I'm thinking if she's hungry enough, she'll eat it. Worst case scenario, I'll just have to go back and order packed in water. I mean, what we do for our pets is pretty amazing. All right, so I kind of highlighted that. I don't know whether, that kind of gives it some, she kind of standing out there. Okay, there we go. All righty. And I didn't use spit. I used a water. Okay, you unplugged it. Okay. It's just doing its own thing. That's all. It decided it needed more copies than you thought you needed. All right. So let's see. I'm thinking if I'm going to do stuff on the back of this, I should probably do that now before I stick it on there. That would be the smart thing to do. So could stick this little envelope on the back, and that would be a kind of a pocket. And I've got some, no, he's not going to fit. I can take Becky's card and stick Becky's card back there. Scott trying to bring stuff from afar. He was trying to check out to make sure the laptop that he gave the old lady works. See, when I read that, I read an old laptop to an old lady, and there's no old lady in it, but I saw old and I put old in front of the lady because I'm old, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to stick that right there. Oh, won't that be a neat thing? You can flip this, and then this beautiful card from Becky will be on the back side of it. I like that. I like that. I like that. And she also made a beautiful pot holder. Hot, you know, yeah, not a pot holder, you know, for hot pots, but a round one. And I've never seen a round one before, but I really liked it a lot. Not old, she has little kids. Okay. It's just funny how you read things, you know, and you read so fast. It's all the same thing. A photo of my old sewing machine. Okay, okay. You're saying the word old too much there, Becky. You're getting me all confused with old sewing machines and old laptops. It doesn't translate into old lady. No, I like it a lot. I actually used it the other night. The ones I have are pretty ratty. You know, a lot of times we don't even think about replacing those, you know. They just get all stained and ratty, and you just keep on using them until the stuffing starts coming out of them, and they no longer protect you. But yeah, it's really nice. Very nice. And I really like the dresses that you've been making, Becky. They look very comfortable. Very breezy and cool for the summertime. And Becky's making these neat dresses out of sheets, right? I think the one was made out of an old sheet. Becky can sew anything, I tell you. It's effortlessly. And the other thing that Becky can do when she's sewing, which I'm really jealous of, she can get on the floor and get up off the floor. That is just amazing. Amazing. All right, so this is going to go right here. I'm going to eyeball it. Okay, now this will be a great. So this is the beginning of the second signature. This can go in here, and it'll flip out here. Yeah, that's not my eyeball was not too good there, but that's okay. You know what? I think maybe a pocket. I can get a pocket across there. I don't know whether I could get, because that's a little tight. Maybe there's a bigger sheet in here. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, that's the next signature over. I don't want to use this signature. Is this bigger? Just make it a little bit bigger. I could probably get a pocket across here. I think a pocket would be better because there's not enough. I didn't really. Well, wait a minute. Maybe. Well, what do you think? A pocket or flippy flappy? All right. Oh, you're going to get your Easter dinner assignments? Okay. That's good. Flip out. Yeah, I like a flip out too. All right. Well, flip out it'll be. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use tape, and then I'll cover the tape with washi tape. But I'll have real tape underneath. What I'm going to do is just put just a little piece to kind of hold it in place. And then, okay, I'm just going to do this. Maybe. That just kind of holds it in place, and then I'll put some serious tape. Okay, I think that's the plan. Anybody have plans for Easter? Anybody having family over for Easter dinner or going to family for Easter? Oh, that's what I should put. I have a picture. If anybody knows me, you know that I'm not a girly girl. You know, I've got a picture of me in a cowgirl outfit crying because it's a cowgirl outfit and not a cowboy. Flip with pocket on backside. Flip with pocket on backside. Well, I can't because I got. And I have a picture of me in an Easter bonnet. And I'm actually smiling. And that must have been taken at my grandmother's house because my mother said my grandmother was the only one that could get me in a dress. So I should post that for my Easter picture. I mean, how many of you remember getting the new dress and the new shoes and getting all decked out, right? I remember that vaguely. And I'll cover that up with washi tape. That will be the plan. Let's see. See if I put any light on the subject, you get a glare. Stick that over there and see. I got washi. Oh, washi. Let's see. Yeah, that kind of works. Stick that there. So can you see what I'm doing here? I got some of this. This is the Timmy cloth washi tape. Let's see. And the only problem with that is that's not going to bend. It won't bend that because it's kind of thick. I don't think that'll bend. I need a thinner washi tape. Let's see what I got up here. How about? See, this is blue and there's not any blue in that at all. And I'm finally learning, literally, I know it's a little late in life, I'm finally learning that I should pay attention to the color. Always and forever love. No, I don't want that. I don't even know that's so not me. Oh, what do you mean? I'm going to say there's no blue. There's blue right here. God, Ian, what's wrong with you? Oh, Lordy. All right. Welcome back, Angie. So when's Keisha having a next marathon sale? I mean, she really had some serious saleage going on a couple of weeks ago. It was several days. Ah, Passover, yes. Seder. Well, I did that. We did the Passover Seder when I was married. My ex-husband is Jewish. So we did Passover. And I made the haraset. Hi, Kathy. And we had the egg and the salty water, and we set the place for Elijah. Oh, sometimes, as I recall, right? You always have a set a place for Elijah, as I recall. And I actually bought a box of matzah because I like matzah. I like it with melted cheese on it. And matzo ball soup. Well, Lizzie had an awesome sale lately. Our Lizzie, like scrapbook Lizzie. You haven't been able to get matzah where you are? Wow. Now, why do I think you live in the Philadelphia area? You don't. Do you live in the Philly area, Candy, or that's just like a dream or some? Yeah, that came out good. That looks good. No, I don't hate that. All right. So that's the masterboard used as a tag of sorts. And let's maybe do some of this here. Actually, what I really want to do, since we have time, this is driving me nuts. This page I never finished, so I'm gonna collage on this, and then I know what I want to do. I like it when people cut up their art, and I did a watercolor, kind of follow Kathy Arbor last week, and I did some watercolor flowers, and separately they're I don't like them at all, but cut up I think they might look good, if I just cut them up and glued them on a page as an element. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I mean, we're all so critical. I mean, I am very critical, and I followed along, and then Kathy said, well, post it, and I don't feel confident to post it, but I feel okay with cutting it up and just putting the flowers down individually. All right, so I'll do this, and this will be cool. And I got some scrappies over here from other things. This was from, let's see. Here, this is what I was looking for. I was looking for some text. Here. This is a book that the school library where I work was getting rid of tons of books, and I took a whole bunch of them, and it's all heavy duty, something that I would never read unless I wanted to go to sleep. I used to be a pretty avid reader, but I don't read as much as I used to because I sit here and do this stuff. Anybody out there reading anything good? Anybody seen anything or series? My son said he went to the movies and saw the movie that won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Supporting Actor. I can't remember the name of it, but he said it was, for him, he said it was awful. He actually left. He left the theater. It was so bad. So it must have been really bad. There's only one movie that I ever walked out on, and it was a movie starring Warren Beatty. And it was called Reds. Give yourself, or you can be more. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. All about Artie, never both at the same time. Yeah, yeah, I think that's a good way. It is kind of like, it is, you're right, Brenda. It is kind of like two parts of your brain. I have books on tape. I subscribe to Amazon's audio, so I will listen, you know. But I'm currently reading, and this would be something I bought this book from my sister in law, and she read it and mailed it to me. So I'm reading it, and it's the biography, it's the most current biography of Elizabeth Taylor. Now, normally, I honestly, I wouldn't give two bits about Liz Taylor. But reading this biography, you know, that woman had some, oh man, she really went through hell. She really, I mean, and now after reading this biography, I want to go back and do my own Liz Taylor movie marathon. I think it would be cool and to go back and see if I couldn't watch all of the movies that she ever was in. I mean, I know that would be quite the undertaking. I mean, we start with National Velvet and then go up and you just start watching, you know, all of the movies. I mean, she's been in so many movies, and MGM, she was one of, you know, under contract, and she had to make X amount of movies. And she thought that her husband had gotten her out of the contract or negotiated one last movie, and she thought she was done. And then Mike Todd, he was killed in a plane crash. And when she was done with that movie, she thought she was done. And they said, oh, no, you owe us one more. So she had to make the last movie, and it was Butterfield 8, which she hated. She didn't like the script. And I remember the names of these movies, but I don't think I've ever seen them. I remember Giant. I remember the movie Giant, and I don't remember seeing it. And she was nominated 3 times for the Academy, but never got it. She kind of bucked the studio and censored the censorship guy. There was actually a guy on the sets of the movies that she made that literally his job was to check the cleavage. They called him the boob tester. And he would literally make sure that she wasn't showing too much boob. And that was his job. And so in one movie, she was showing too much cleavage, according to him. So the wardrobe lady came in and put some, like a piece of cloth covering the cleavage. And as soon as he walked off the set, she immediately ripped that piece of material off and went back to showing her cleavage. And she kind of bucked the system a little bit. But she did a lot, you know, a lot of good, you know. She really got funding for AIDS research early on when people, you know, no one wanted to talk about AIDS. And of course, a lot of her best friends in Hollywood were all gay men, Rock Hudson and Cliff Montgomery. And when Jimmy Dean was killed, died in that automobile crash, Rock Hudson was, of course, married. Because the studio kind of dictated that they didn't care whether, you know, they couldn't reveal their gayness. They had to be married. And when Jimmy Dean was killed in a car crash, Rock Hudson was inconsolable, and he was crying, and his wife was like, why are you so upset that he was killed? And he said, because I wanted him dead. I wanted him to die, because Rock Hudson was upset because he thought that Jimmy Dean was getting more camera close-ups in the movie that they were currently starring in, and that he had wished him dead. So he was very upset that he had died in a car crash. And it's kind of And of course, being married to Richard Burton twice, and the whole thing about filming Cleopatra and what that movie cost. And she when they wanted her to star in Cleopatra, she demanded $1 million, and no actress had ever been paid that much ever. And she held out. She held out, and they agreed to pay her $1 million. And at that time, she was married to Eddie Fisher. And the shit she took from, marrying Eddie Fisher. Everyone, accused her of being a family wrecker because his marriage to Debbie Reynolds was like this perfect marriage, supposedly, which it wasn't. Of course, there's no such thing. And people chased after her and called them all sorts of horrible names. Yeah, wouldn't that be funny, Mary Lou, to go just get them? I mean, it wouldn't be that hard. I don't think it would be that hard with Netflix or YouTube, whatever, just to figure out the chronological order of her movies, and start with, I'm pretty sure National Velvet was the first. And start with National Velvet. I think she was like 14 when she made that. And by the time she was like 25, I think she'd already had 3 kids by 2 different husbands. I mean, an incredible life. It's just crazy. I'm just reading Barbara. Brenda's reading about Prince Harry's bio. Is that what's the newest book out about? My sister-in-law was reading that. Yeah. Barbara Clark said it's hailing, like hail from the sky. Hail. Yes. So it's hailing in Eureka. So Eureka, it's hailing. Yeah, I would think so. Easy way to grab a list. Yeah. I think it would be fun just to watch them in order, especially after reading about, and with this biography, there's something that's said pretty much about, it's not hailing in Eureka, it's hailing in the okay, that makes more sense. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you would get. Well, it snowed / hailed here in Cape Canaveral on Christmas morning. I have a picture. On Christmas morning, it hailed. It looked more like hail than snow. So, in Florida. Alrighty, so that's done. Now I feel more confident in doing something else. I had all this neat stuff hanging out over here. Didn't even know I had it. I stuck it over here. What the hell? I'll stick that in. Why not? Why not? I had a friend that had parked her car in the Orlando airport, outside parking, right? And there'd been a big hailstorm. When she got back, her car had dings in all over it from the hail, and that had happened. So it can be very destructive. Okay, look at that. I like that. I like that a lot. What else do we have here that we can play with? Got my little envelope. Can go like that. See, I don't like that. That does not do anything for me. So I can fix her that. I can fix that. There should be a piece of that somewhere. Right? No? Well, I want to stick something in there, but that's not it. Did I use all of that? I guess I did. That's okay. I can stick something in there. I'll find something. All right, let's see. Oh, how about tea bag? You know, I just don't. That just doesn't. Oh, I know. How about some? Yeah, a little bit of hail. I'll stick some of that in there. That'll look better than just it being naked. Naked. I don't like it naked. But the tornado damage is just I just can't imagine how terrifying that must be. Um, and I guess there were several of them that came through, from what I understand. Absolutely. I was just saying earlier, you know, I don't know where I would go. My bathrooms, both bathrooms are on exterior walls. I don't know whether the garage would be a good place. I have a, you know, a cinder block wall in the garage. I'm in a duplex. So maybe that the interior wall of the duplex, that's not going to work, is it? I don't know. Hopefully I'll never have to. And then I think about what would I do with my cat? Would I be able to grab her? And because anybody that has cats, they don't really come when you call them. Well, I'm really making a bother of this. I should have stuck this in on the inside. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll doodle in there. But I know what I was going to put here. Let me see. Okay, let me find the picture that I painted on Kathy Arbor's thingy. And I'm going to cut those out and stick them in here. That's what I was going to do, right? Yes. Okay, let me do that. And if I can find it. And pets, I guess pets instinctively know. Guess we were talking on somebody's stream. Oh, there they are. That there had been a fire and the pets had not survived. In one of my previous lives, I was a volunteer fireman, firewoman, fire person, whatever. And we had a house fire in the neighborhood. And the hard thing about being a volunteer, so here are the little watercolors I did. And I had screwed this up, so I painted a big blob of yellow and then penned in, I guess that's supposed to be a crocus. And so I'm just going to cut these out and I can stick them down as little standalones. So it was a house fire. And it was started by a coffee maker. Coffee makers start a lot of fires. Firefighter. Yeah, I guess that would be the proper terminology. And the guy's house, again, in a volunteer fire department scenario, these people are your neighbors. They're, you know them. They might, live next to you or the block over. And, so the siren went off. And of course, with a volunteer fire department, the worst possible time to have a fire or need fire personnel is in the middle of the day because everyone's at work. I mean, and so there's few people around to, answer the call initially. But so the siren went off and it was George's house. And what had happened was he was in the hospital and his daughter had left for work and she got halfway to work and she realized that she had left the coffee maker on and she went home. And by the time she got back to her house, their home, the house was on fire. And fortunately, the house next door, and this was, of course, in the middle of winter, and there was no fire hydrants where we lived. And they would use the lake. They would literally, in the middle of winter, they would go down to the lake, and they'd had this gigantic awl, like a drill, and they would drill a hole in the lake, and then they would have water trucks, pumpers that would pump water out of the lake, right? And then the pumper would bring the water to the fire, and they would set up literally what looked like a portable swimming pool, and then they would dump the water into this swimming pool type thing, and then the fire trucks would draw the water from there to knock down and put out the fire. Well, for this particular fire, we were able to knock it down pretty quickly because the house next door had an in-ground swimming pool. So that had water in it. So we drained that. We took the water right out of the pool. And with that initial blast of water, we were able to knock down the fire pretty quickly and keep it pretty much contained to the kitchen area. But they had a basset hound, and I'll always remember the neighboring fire department fireman came up out of the basement holding, and the dog's name was Lucy. And Lucy was limp. So I can stick that like kind of there or there. And I went running to our ambulance, and I got out the oxygen and an oxygen mask, and we gave Lucy oxygen. Damned if we didn't revive her, bring her back. So Lucy became lucky. We saved Lucy. The fire was pretty much contained to the kitchen. And I remember going through the kitchen after the fire, and it was amazing. The refrigerator was just melted, just absolutely like this big glob of plastic just melted. Now, they had a couple of canaries in the living room, and the canaries didn't make it. They were feet up. They didn't survive the fire. But they have tiny little lungs. They used to use canaries as the alarm for the miners. They would know that there was a gas leak. If they would bring canaries down into the mines with them every day, live canaries in cages, and it was somebody's job to watch the canary. And if the canary went feet up, then they knew that there was poisonous gas and that to get out of the mines. So these little guys didn't survive, but the dog did. And we took the dog to the vet and everything, and she did have some fluid in her lungs, but she managed to survive. And they were able to, redo the kitchen and put the house back together again. But that was one of the more memorable fires. Another one was up in the country. And again, no source of water, middle of winter. And it was probably, oh man, I was never so cold in my life. I had icicles off my fire helmet. It was probably about 25 out. And we were, bringing the water, transporting the water from the lake with tanker trucks. And what had happened, fortunately, there was nobody in the house. They had gone to work, but their oil furnace somehow ignited and caused the house to go up in flames. And by the time we got there, the house was completely engulfed in flames. There was nothing to save. Basically, had to just knock the fire down. There was nothing left of the house. It was a total loss. And then there was a community that was a wealthy community, big homes, 6-figure homes on the lake. And a lot of these were summer residents. And I remember one winter there was a fire, And these people, and they had the money to live in this beautiful home, but they didn't pay somebody to plow their driveway in the middle of the winter. And what a dumb thing to do. So when the fire started, we couldn't get to the house because there was snow banks and snow drifts because these people didn't pay whatever it would have cost to keep that driveway open. So if there was a problem, that the fire company, we could have access to the house. So by the time we got to the house, there was a lot more damage than needed to be. And I always never quite understood, having that money to live there, but not have the sense to keep the driveway open in the winter. Anyway, people make weird decisions sometimes. I was a volunteer fire person. Yeah, well, fires were bad, but I'll tell you what, the worst were, ambulance calls. Because, 9 times out of that was somebody that just went by with a barking dog in their golf cart. You probably didn't hear it. But the worst were ambulance calls. Because a lot of times, you knew these people. They weren't strangers. They were your neighbors. I'm yakking away. You did hear it? Oh, wow. Professional fire in Patterson, New Jersey. Oh, boy. I bet you he's got the stories. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard, especially when especially when it's your neighbors. I went over my allotted time, so I apologize for going over. Maybe next week I have some other stories that I can tell if I remember to tell them. But thank you so much for hanging out with me this afternoon, and I'll see you out and about, I hope. And I'll see you next week. And I really enjoyed getting back into this book. This book was a fun book, and you're probably going to see me working in it some more, because you see how they look so much better standing, being cut out and used. I didn't like them, but now I kind of like them. They look better. All right, well, take care, everybody. And if you can't be good, be careful.